Let me speak slowly, as if we were sitting together in the stillness of night. Across the long memory of the world, empires rose with certainty in their hearts. They came with iron in their hands, convinced they could erase a people forever. From the armies of Alexander the Great to the disciplined legions of the Roman Empire, to the banners of new faith carried by Arab warriors and the storms of Genghis Khan, each believed the same thing. Power could rewrite identity and silence memory. And yet, history whispers something different. Other nations, after such blows, faded into silence and became echoes. Like Babylonia, the Hittite Empire, or Assyria, absorbed into the dust of time. But here, something unusual unfolded. Again and again, defeat came. Cities fell and capitals burned. Foreign rulers took their place, yet the people did not vanish. They endured, not by force, but by something far more subtle. They transformed those who conquered them. Within a generation, invaders spoke the language of the land. They built its architecture, wore its garments, and governed through its wisdom. It is a mystery, is it not? How a nation could lose battles yet never lose itself. How identity survives not through dominance, but through endurance. In that quiet paradox, we glimpse a deeper truth often revealed in Scripture. What appears as weakness may conceal a different kind of strength. To understand this, we must step further back beyond the noise of empires. Many believe civilization began in Mesopotamia or along the Nile in ancient Egypt. Yet the earth remembers more than we often acknowledge. Long before written memory, people walked these lands. Life unfolded slowly under the unseen hand of time. Settlements rose and communities formed. Archaeologists uncovered traces of ancient cities shaped thousands of years ago. They stand quietly beside the great cradles of civilization. Scripture reminds us that God's work is not confined to one place. His story is broader than we imagine. Then something shifted, not only in land but in thought. A vision emerged that saw life not as random or endlessly repeating, but as a story with a beginning, a direction, and an end. This vision saw the world as a struggle between light and darkness, between truth and deception, between order and chaos. It spoke of a God of light and a force of opposition, a world moving toward a final reckoning. If this sounds familiar, it should. Scripture speaks of a beginning, a fall, and a final restoration, where light overcomes darkness, not as myth, but as promise. And so ideas traveled through contact, exile, and quiet exchange. People of faith returned changed, carrying new reflections. They asked deeper questions about time, judgment, and the end. Time was no longer a circle, but a path. A story moving toward fulfillment and a final moment of truth. Here we must pause, where history and scripture begin to touch. Not perfectly, but enough to remind us of something deeper. God's truth is not fragile and does not fear history. It moves quietly through the rise and fall of nations. Even rulers became part of this unfolding story. Like Cyrus the Great, remembered not only for conquest, but for mercy. He allowed captives to return and restored what was taken. In doing so, he stepped into a story greater than his own. It is a gentle reminder that God can use even empires. History, no matter how chaotic, is not without direction. When we look back across centuries, we see more than survival. We see a pattern, loss that does not end in defeat, exile that does not erase identity, darkness that never overcomes light. And perhaps tonight, in the quiet, you can feel it too. History is not random, time is not empty. It is moving steadily toward a moment already known to God. And in that truth, there is a quiet kind of peace. There is something history teaches us, if we are willing to listen closely. It does not overlook weakness, and it does not forget fragile moments. Even great rulers, remembered for strength, are not beyond its reach. Cyrus the Great, known for wisdom and restraint, entered uncertain lands in Central Asia. He went to war, seeking to secure what he had built. There, beyond the reach of empire, he met his end. The battle was fierce, an army undone, and a king fallen. Ancient voices speak of Queen Tamiris, who declared judgment in grief and vengeance. She said, "You thirsted for blood, now drink your fill." In that moment, we are reminded that even the greatest remain mortal. And yet, the story did not end there. Empires often outlive their founders. Some say the wars between Greece and Persia shattered the empire. Stories tell of courage and resistance against overwhelming force. There is truth in that courage, but loss did not mean the end. For a vast empire, it meant a shift in strategy. Instead of conquering by the sword, Persia learned another way. They influenced, supported, and shaped outcomes from behind the veil. Cities turned against cities, and alliances shifted. Even resistance eventually bent without a decisive battle. It is a sobering thought that power does not always appear as force. Sometimes it moves unseen. No earthly structure stands forever. The empire grew too vast for fragile leadership to sustain. In that weakness, another power arose. Alexander the Great came like a storm from the west. His armies crushed what remained of Persian resistance. Palaces burned, and glory turned to ash. It seemed the long story had reached its end. But some things do not end so easily. From the ruins, something quiet began again. The conqueror himself began to change. Alexander wore Persian garments and adopted Persian customs. It was as though the land itself was shaping him. Once more, history turned. New rulers rose, and old powers faded. Yet the pattern remained. Those who came to conquer were often transformed instead. Language endured, culture endured, identity endured, like a flame that refused to be extinguished. For centuries, this land stood against the Roman Empire, not always victorious, yet never erased. There is something deeply human in that, to fall, yet not disappear, to struggle, yet still remain. Then came another age, a structured kingdom shaped by belief, order, and tradition. Faith became central, and identity became defined. Yet even strength carries a cost. Endless conflict drained the land. War after war led to exhaustion and opened the door to change. From the deserts, a new force emerged. The Umayyad Caliphate brought a new language, faith, and way of life. Once again, everything changed. Old beliefs faded, and new ones took root. For many nations, this would have been the end. Identity erased and memory replaced. But not here, and not this time. Something remarkable happened instead. Though conquered, the people responded through thought, language, and culture. The empire that ruled them began to depend on them. Scholars, poets, and administrators shaped the new world. What seemed like defeat became influence. The language endured, and the stories endured. Beneath changing empires, something deeper remained. Scripture reminds us that what is deeply rooted cannot be easily uprooted. Then came devastation unlike before. Genghis Khan arrived with a force that erased entire systems. Cities were emptied and generations were lost. It seemed nothing could survive. Yet even here, the pattern continued. The conquerors themselves began to change. They adopted the faith, language, and vision of the land. It was as if the soul of the place could not be silenced. Again and again, new rulers came. Mongols and Turks brought power, yet left transformed. Identity here was not fragile, but quietly enduring. From this long history, a new unity emerged. A ruler gathered the fragments and formed something whole. Faith became defining, and identity became distinct, yet struggle did not end. Pressure came from powerful empires, including Russia and Britain. Territory was lost, and influence was divided. The land became a stage for greater powers. Still, it endured. Even when divided and exploited, something remained. A quiet refusal to disappear. Then came a turning point. Reza Shah Pahlavi rose and sought to reshape the nation, not only through memory, but through renewal. He gave the nation a name drawn from its ancient identity, Iran. There is something deeply human in reclaiming a name. To reclaim a name is to reclaim a story. It is to say we are not what others have called us. We are who we have always been. And tonight, in stillness, there is something to hold on to. Empires rise and fall, but identity, when deeply rooted, endures beyond them all. Scripture reminds us that some things cannot be taken, not truth, not purpose, and not the unfolding story known to God. Listen carefully, as if the world itself has lowered its voice. Some nations speak loudly of their power, while others carry strength quietly across centuries. This land seems to whisper that it is not new and not accidental. It is a people rooted in something far older than memory. Yet even such a nation is shaped by the shifting currents of history. In the last century, it was placed upon a global stage. It was moved, pressured, and watched by forces beyond its borders. Tension grew, and influence pressed in from every side. At last, something broke. A revolution rose, swift and overwhelming, and the old order fell away. A monarchy faded into silence, and a new system took its place. With that change, familiar relationships became distant. Bridges closed, and voices turned away. We now stand in a strange moment of history. In the modern mind, two visions exist at once. One name spoken today often carries weight. It brings to mind tension, conflict, and uncertainty. A nation seen through the lens of struggle. Yet another name remains, older and softer, almost dreamlike in its presence. Persia, a word that feels like poetry itself. It carries echoes of beauty, elegance, and forgotten splendor. Two names, yet one land. Between them rests a quiet question. How will this story be remembered? Across thousands of years, this culture learned something rare. It did not survive by remaining unchanged, nor by resisting every force with equal strength. It endured through something more subtle. When confronted by empires from every direction, it did not vanish. It absorbed, reshaped, and endured. Perhaps this is where the story becomes personal. History is not only about nations, but about identity. It lives in the tension between who we were and who we have become. It is shaped by how others choose to see us. There is an unseen struggle within that space. It is not fought with weapons, but with memory, meaning, and truth. Scripture reminds us that identity is not defined by surrounding voices. It is anchored in something deeper, not in names given by the world, but in the one who knows us fully. So tonight, in the stillness, the question becomes personal. Who you were, who you are, and who God is calling you to become. Even as history shifts, there remains a truth that does not change. A name spoken not by the world, but by God Himself.